Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jean. Really appreciate it.
Hello, welcome everybody. It's so wonderful to see you all for Communitas. I'm Louise, and I'm going to start off with a blessing. We're going to call down a blessing, and you can join me in this at home. We're just going to sing. Call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down. Try that with me at home. Call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down. Health before us, health behind us, health within us and around us. Call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down. Peace before us, peace behind us, peace within us and around us. Call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down. Love before us, love behind us, love within us and around us. Call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down. Let's sing this one last time. Call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down a blessing, call down.
Oh, thank you so much, Louise. And good afternoon. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Kim Harris, and so glad to be here. I'm in Philadelphia right now, and I know we have people from around the world that are joining us for Communitas this evening. So glad that we can all be together. So once again, I'm going to invite you, just as Louise did, to help me sing. But here's something you can do. Take out one hand so I can hear it, see it like that. And when I say freedom, freedom, go like this. Okay. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Yes, I know many of you already recognize this song. This is Calypso Freedom, with words that come from the time of the Freedom Riders. And I was thinking today about all of the wonderful ancestors, our activist ancestors on whose shoulders we have stood and on shoulders we continue to stand. And our wonderful activists will be honoring this evening. So, well, I took a little trip on a Greyhound bus. Freedom coming and it won't be long. To fight segregation, cause of this we must. Freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. We had a little trouble in Montgomery town. Oh no, freedom coming and it won't be long. They burned that bus right to the ground. Freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. The Freedom Riders, we come to stay. Freedom coming and it won't be long. We got another bus and we're on our way. That's right. Freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom is something you cannot hide away. Freedom coming and it won't be long. We must work for freedom every day. Freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. All right, we're gonna do freedom, freedom 2 more times. So let me hear you singing it. And even if you are muted, which you are, and I can't exactly hear you, I can feel your good energy. Here we go. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, freedom, freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, give us freedom. Here we go. Freedom coming and it won't be long. Freedom, give us freedom. Freedom coming and it won't be long. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for singing. Welcome to Communitas 2021.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kim Harris. Beautiful. Dr. Kim Harris is an integral part of the church in Ocean Park, and especially on our Sunday morning team. She was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where she is right now, and she is the assistant professor of African American thought and practice in the Department of Theological Studies at Loyola Marymount University. Dr. Harris records and travels the nation, performing concerts, lecturing on the music of African American freedom traditions, and leading music in a variety of liturgical settings. We are so grateful that she is one of the leaders of our community. Thank you so much, Dr. Kim. Louise Dobbs is the amazing musician that you may have heard as you joined Communitas this evening. Louise Dobbs has been the minister of music at Church in Ocean Park for more than 10 years and a member of the church for more than 30. She brings her love of song and celebration to Sunday services and weekday and community events. She is constantly attending singing gatherings and music festivals, continuing to learn songs in many different genres, especially those that speak to the human condition of hope, peace, and justice. Her deepest desire in this life is to bring joy, connection, healing, light, and love through group singing. She is a genius at leading group singing. And we have the hope that the time for group singing is returning one day. Every Sunday at the church in Ocean Park, we are welcomed by a community member. This evening, I invite you to join in our experience as we recall T.J. Robinson welcoming us on a Sunday morning. She now welcomes you tonight as well. You are welcome here. She will welcome you by video.
Church in Ocean Park is all about liberating where we can be our full, authentic selves. We are interfaith, so you are welcome if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Wiccan, atheist, or some combination or something else altogether, as we recognize the Spirit moves all throughout. We extend a special invitation to those who are single, married, divorced, gay, transgender, filthy, rich, or dirt poor. We extend a special invitation to those who are crying newborns, just browsing, just woke up, or just got out of jail. We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope or haven't been in synagogue since your nephew's bar mitzvah. We extend a special invitation to those who are over 60 but not grown up yet, because we are young at heart and youthful and will stay alive, and to teenagers who are growing up way too fast until they realize that they ain't grown yet. So we invite soccer moms, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegetarians, junk food eaters. We invite those who are in recovery or still addicted. We invite you if you're having problems or you're down or in the dumps, or if you don't like organized religion, or if you're just trying to keep peace of mind in this COVID because we quarantined and can't hug everybody. Wherever you are in life, we welcome you at Church in Ocean Park, where you can be your full, authentic self as we challenge the system and we break free to have complete, full liberation of all people.
I invite you now to pause for a moment for a land acknowledgement. We pause to acknowledge that most of our homes and our building in Santa Monica sit on stolen land. To all our relations, we, the settlers of this land, honor the Quiche, Tongva, Chumash peoples. We are grateful for you and we wish to become good guests on your land. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, enslavement, forced assimilation, gender violence, and destruction of sacred sites and burial of historic truth about Indigenous suffering at the hands of US colonial settlerism. We apologize for the harm by pledging ourselves to be part of a culture of repair. Let us join our hearts to the protection of sacred sites and villages, as well as the Indigenous people who live among us today. This evening, we are honored to welcome Dr. Karen Gunn as our MC for the second time. Dr. Gunn is an incredible, courageous, thoughtful, intelligent activist, an entrepreneur, and a community leader and an educator. Until her retirement, she was a professor of psychology at Santa Monica College. Activism and education have been twin pillars in Karen's life. Encouraged by her family to excel as a student, she earned a BA in psychology from Oakland University and a PhD in community psychology from the University of Michigan. Karen's professional life has been a vehicle for realizing her social and political principles. Her small consulting business focuses on an organizational change, diversity and inclusion, reversing institutional inertia and discrimination. Her current anti-racist work includes involvement in all kinds of community commissions, nonprofit boards, advisory, and advocacy groups. And some of them are Santa Monica Bay Area Human Relations Council, the Committee for Racial Justice, various Santa Monica College task forces that are aimed at reversing inequities and discriminatory practices. She's involved in the League of Women Voters. She works with a variety of team leaders in the newly created Black Agenda of Santa Monica, to name just a few. She states, I strive to be an agent of change in my little corner of the world. I work for change, social justice, and equal opportunity. This is my lifelong mission. We can see that throughout her life. You can read more about her in our program book, but I want you to welcome with me our MC this evening, Dr. Karen Gunn. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Reverend Janet. I'm pleased to be here, second time around, so I'm doing pretty good. And it's a pleasure to be here this evening. And as we begin this important annual celebration of really cool people, I imagine that we will be reminded of some things, including why it is we continue to be hopeful, particularly in this time of challenge and sometimes even scary events in our social world. We will, I believe, begin to appreciate or continue to appreciate what brings us joy, including music, what helps us to be happy. And of course, this is about justice, and we are honoring people who are making a difference in progress towards justice. The journey isn't done, but the pathway continues to be traversed by people that we're honoring this evening. And it reminds us of why it's important to try to strive for peace. And peace comes with struggle. And we're also honoring people who have struggled and made a difference in our world, because it is about community and communitas. I took Latin in high school. I question the wisdom of those classes, but they helped me with crossword puzzles, and they helped me to appreciate what it means this evening. So with that said, I am so glad to be here, and I again want to welcome everyone who's joining us. And I'd like to begin by introducing Reverend Sandie Richards, who was the minister of the church in Ocean Park from 1995 to 2005. She founded the Communitas Awards program. Give her a little shout out, a pump up, yeah. So she is currently the minister of the First United Methodist Church in San Fernando and is moving back to the coast and closer to us. On July 1st, she will be the minister of Los Altos United Methodist Church. Let's all give a round of welcome to Reverend Sandie Richards.
Thank you, Dr. Gunn. I appreciate the introduction, so beautifully said. And I want to, before I begin reading the names of the past honorees, I wanted to say that, Jim Kahn came before me in the 70s, and he refounded the church. He got it started again and set its feet toward justice. And I was grateful to carry on that tradition. And of course, Reverend Janet McKeithen has done amazing work, especially in the anti-racism category by standing up for people who have suffered and by taking risks, great big risks with her life and livelihood. So I want to honor those two people and all the people who've made Communitas what it is, including our honorees, who I will name now. And I want to just say that Dr. Harris said that our ancestors went before us. Many of the people on this list are now our ancestors in justice. So we honor them. We honor those still with us. We honor the past. So beginning with 1999, Community Corporation of Santa Monica, Doña Durlam, Maynard, and Sheila Ostro. 2000, Nancy Greenstein, Ethel Goulet, and Ralph Metcher. 2001, Pirko Angelikis, Beth Leader-Pack, and Vivian Rothstein. 2002, Bill and Ida Butcher, Rita Lowenthal, Fred Whitlock, and Denny Zane. 2003, Brad Mowers, Dolores Press, and Bill Rosendahl. 2004, Franci, Tony Vasquez, Maria Leon Vasquez, Patricia Hoffman, David Pettit, and Gail Price. 2005, Christopher and Maureen Shannon Chappell, Mario Fonda Bernardi, Sylvia Gentili, and Tori Osborne. 2006, Tom Hayden, Elizabeth Keller, and John Masseri. 2007, Julie Lopez Dodd, Sheila James Kuehl, Reverend Jim Kahn, and Susan McCory. 2008, Ross Altman, Hurley Jim Bowling, Bruria, and David Finkel. 2009, Ken Genzer, Chuck Howell, Susan Millman, and Steve Clare. 2010, Abby Arnold, Louise Dobbs, Michael Tarbett, Marcia Zimmer. 2011, Judy Abdo, Bill Bronner, Sandie Richards, Mike Temple. 2012, Robert Gord, Betty Macias, Jessica Parker, Waverly Nebedum. 2013, Ann Hawthorne, Robbie Jones, Jasmine Lee. 2014, Catherine King, Bishop Minerva Carcano, Blaise Bonpane, and Theresa Killeen Bonpane. 2015, Mildred Pitts Walter, Linda Lejour, Melina Abdullah. 2016, Ron Finley, Susan Love Lockmiller, Robert Temple. 2017, Nana Gyamfi, JD, Jim Lafferty, and Gina Lynn Frazier. 2018, Margaret Prescott, LA Student Activist Coalition, Donna Brown, Ayanna and Yonathan Parker. 2019, Carol Lemline, Youth Justice Coalition, Wendy Zaw, Tondawe Abdullah. 2020, Viva Vargas, Dr. Karen S. Gunn, and White People for Black Lives. Last year in 2020, let's just do this for a minute. for all our honorees and ancestors. Last year, COVID hit really hard, and we were all still figuring out how to go online, I think. But it was a beautiful ceremony last year, and the honorees were great, but they didn't receive their awards. So their awards have now been delivered to them, and we want to acknowledge them each again for just a moment. Starting with our first 2020 honoree, White People for Black Lives, then Viva Vargas, then Dr. Karen S. Gunn. Thank you.
I believe that White People for Black Lives has sent a message saying thank you so much. We received the awards from you guys, and but that they're not able to be with us this evening. So we will go right to Viva Vargas.
Hello to everyone attending the Church in Ocean Park's 2021 Communitas. My name is Viva Vargas, and I am an organizer with Anak Bayan, UCLA, a grassroots anti-imperialist organization fighting for human rights of the Filipino people and of all oppressed peoples. The members in the Church in Ocean Park have been our partners in justice for the victims of Duterte's human rights violations, which are being funded by our US tax dollars in the form of military aid. Together, we have lobbied Representative Ted Lieu's office to pass the Philippine Human Rights Act, which will suspend our US tax dollars going towards these killings and arrests. We have also held community discussions in the Church in Ocean Park, connecting the student community at UCLA to the church. Pastor Janet herself has gone to the Philippines and saw firsthand the militarization of the Aita people who face this brutalization from the Duterte regime. In order for us to defend the people and defend those who are on the front lines of fighting for human rights in the Philippines, people from different walks of faith and beliefs need to unite and work together for just and lasting peace. I quote Attorney Capulong, a human rights lawyer. The struggle is like riding a bicycle. If you become static or stop moving, you will definitely fall. So I call on everyone here to support our advocacy work to pass the Philippine Human Rights Act, and for those who are able to give monetary support today, to write your pledges in the chat or directly message Aspen. Together, we can sustain the Church in Ocean Park's work towards justice and the building of safe and healthy communities that our world deserves. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Reverend Janet, did you want to say anything about the last slide for donations, or we're just moving on with that?
We're just moving on.
Okay. So I'd like to say thank you very much to Reverend Richards for covering this amazing roster of people who have received this award. These are just incredible folks, and I myself feel quite humbled to have been included in the list last year for what little bit that I have done as a community activist. So let me move on now, because we're getting to the good part, the sweet spot, as they might say, with our first Communitas honoree, Jean Gasca. She will be introduced more thoroughly in just a moment, but first we have the privilege of hearing her music, and we heard it at the start when we were beginning to start the ceremony today. Jean has enriched people's lives with her music, and remember, music brings us joy. Dr. Harris is sitting there with a smile on her face. I know she feels me. It's absolutely what brings a measure of peace to our spirit and to our soul. So Jean has enriched people's lives with her music and by her teaching of music. At this time, we have the privilege of hearing her gift of beautiful music. Welcome, Jean Gasca.
Thank you. Just wanted to say just a couple words about this piece. Okay. This is Don't Know Why. It was sung by Nora Jones. I didn't pick it because of the content. I picked it because it's beautiful music. But it actually goes along with what I'm going to say later about teaching. Sometimes I don't know why.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jean Gasca. Now we know, I just dropped my pad here, excuse me. Now we know why she is so important to the community, why she is a recipient of our award. Music brings us the joy that we all can appreciate all the time. So with that said, I'd like to introduce the person who will be honoring and introducing Jean. It is Yonathan Parker and his mom, Ayanna Parker. Let me welcome Yanni and Ayanna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But wait, did they just say that schools will be closed until further notice? Oh no. At that moment, the pandemic became really real, really real. Life, it suddenly changed. I knew I had to really kick some things into gear. But as the months went on and the ongoing changes, the tragedies, the uncertainties, the role of supermom, daughter, woman, mother, it was starting to cave. Thankfully, a gift within our great community, Miss Jean, a partner. Miss Jean would be a great gift to us. She came in and she rescued us.
She rescued me. She rescued this school-age child here. Her gift of community and education and action has been a gift. It truly has. Her communication, her care, her love for learning, her teaching, it has been felt throughout our house over this past year through COVID. I want to thank her, but I think that her student here, Yonathan, would be the person to do that. So I will let him take over.
Thank you. My name is Yonathan Parker, and I am Miss Jean's student. When I think about amazing teacher, I think about Mrs. Jean. Mrs. Jean is nice, Mrs. Jean is kind, Mrs. Jean is understanding. When I need help on a math problem, Miss Jean will help me through it. Like division, multiplication, solving measurement equations, which was not very easy for me, but Mrs. Jean made it fun. You see, Mrs. Jean is not only smart, but really creative. Mrs. Jean can draw cool characters using the computer mouse over Zoom. I like drawing pictures too to solve problems. Mrs. Jean also finds creative ways to help me find the answers. When I learn with my teacher in school, it is different, but when Miss Jean teaches me, it is fun even over Zoom. I'm happy to learn with Miss Jean. Not only does Miss Jean help me with learning when I have had a headache or my mom has had my mom's throat hurts. Mrs. Jean will give us a great advice where to do different massages. When my grandfather passed away, Mrs. Jean would help me through it. Mrs. Jean was kind and compassionate, and that made me feel thankful. And that is why I am proud to say congratulations on getting this award, Miss Jean. You deserve it.
You deserve it, and we love you.
Very much.
There's so much to say, and everyone is graced with your wonderful bio. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's time for tissues. So, you can see why I love teaching Yanni. We've become friends over the past year. And it has been a challenge learning cool tools that your student gets to use too. And so we draw together and we solve problems together. So when I first got news that I was nominated for this award, I have to say I was a little surprised. I was actually quite surprised. There are so many heavy hitters. I mean, Sandie read that list of people who've been activists for decades and decades in the street, using all their time for justice. But then on reflection, I thought, okay, I've been a teacher for almost 40 years. And teachers are community builders too. They build a community in their classroom. They build a community in students' homes sometimes. I can't tell you how many parents I've tried to help with problems with their teenagers. Because a lot of parents are spending all their time making money and living, making a living. And they don't have time to read all the best books and figure out how to deal with their children. And so sometimes that community, the classroom, spreads out to the parents as well. And I've had such a lovely time in our little tiny community with Ayanna and Yanni and me, because I'll tell you what, teaching one-to-one is really exciting. After teaching for 40 years, classes from 15 to 25 to 75, it's really cool sitting with one person. So I just wanted to say that more important than the content that a teacher teaches is the lessons that a teacher teaches by their behavior. My share of teachers who, I am sad to say, like Nora Jones, I don't know why they do the things that they do. I don't know why anybody uses the grade of F. 59% is supposed to be a grade of F. Well, so is 0, right? So a lot of students say, well, why should I try at all? So I tried to campaign in my schools for the grade of not yet passing, NYP. And I'll tell you, the principals didn't want to hear it. So I just used that grade myself on papers, not yet passing. You got a 59%, you just have 41% left to learn. That's all it is. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, when parents 100 years ago, 200 years ago were teaching their kids how to milk a cow and the milk went outside the bucket. Do you think they said, well, you got to go in the house now because that milk went out? Until you learn how to do it. So teachers who teach children in a kind and respectful way are really committing a radical act, I believe. They help kids to discover their own learning style. How is it best to learn? I mean, like when you hear stuff, is that best, or was it when you see stuff, or is it both? Do you need to do both? I'm really visual. If you try to teach me something with just my ears over the phone, I have to see it. I have to write it down at the very least. Children need to learn to advocate for themselves. They need to learn to ask questions in class. So in some classrooms, I posted things on the walls. Here's what to say. Can I open my book? Where could I look in my book? Those are all skills that students need to know. And a good teacher teaches them how to do that. So in my little classrooms and in my students, my tutoring students, hopefully I have created these little ripples that go outward, and then they learn how to be better people, more contented, at least, with themselves, not feeling like a failure for sure. And then they can take that to other people and build community in their own way. So thank you very much for this award. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jean. Oh my goodness. She is very humble. And for her not to think she'd ever be honored is pretty amazing, because she's done not just teaching, but not teaching only, but also she pretty much, in many ways, saved the day this year at the church in Ocean Park. And for many of us, the connecting that you did, Jean, was, immeasurable. We started a Tuesdays at 2 program, which was for healing modalities, different healing modalities every Tuesday. And Jean has her own that she taught, and she also brought in her Qigong instructor, who also taught us. And we had a medicine dance one time, and then I went on leave, and Jean said, I can take over and I can do the facilitating, and she's done it ever since. So I always wanted to show folks kind of the breadth of what Jean does, because you know she's a teacher, you know she plays piano, but you may not know that she facilitates groups like this. So we're gonna show you just one little clip of a group called Zen Tango.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine there. You already saw mine. Closer, Donya. All right. Beautiful.
Mine's kind of abstract.
Great. Oh, great, Dina. Very good.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Nice. I can see that real clearly. It's great. Anybody else? We have one more to do. Ooh, nice. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. Lovely. I just love it. Just love it.
Thank you so much, Jean. I love Tuesdays at 2 that you host for us. Now, it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce to you Arnaé Batson. It's Arnaé Batson's second year with us at Communitas, and I just had to invite her back. Arnae is a Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, and producer who is widely regarded for her work with the internationally acclaimed a cappella ensemble Sweet Honey in the Rock. Arnae is founder and director of the Sing Network, the Hearts of Fire Community Choir, and the Voices Raised LA Vocal Collective, all based here in Los Angeles. Please welcome Arnaé Batson.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Greetings, neighbors. Before I start, I want to know, how can I get in on these Tuesday classes? If it's feeling like it's calling me. So let's talk about that. Thank you, Louise. I'll say greetings to everyone again, to all my neighbors. I'm so thankful for this invitation to celebrate with you all on this wonderful Communitas 2021 event. Congratulations to all the honorees. Give them a hand. And congratulations to us all. We made it. Woo! Okay. So the song I'm sharing tonight came through as part of a suite of compositions I've been working on that advocate for reparations for my familial ancestors and other foundational Black Americans. I actually premiered it at a song gathering on the evening of Wednesday, January 6th, in response to the world having watched those hate-filled insurrectioners violently storm the U.S. Capitol earlier that day. It's a simple song that simply calls for healing that comes when justice is allowed to overflow in every way and in every area where it is owed. I want y'all to sing with me. So I'm just going to drop these lyrics. Like I said, it's very simple. I'm going to drop these lyrics in the chat so you can feel free to join along. And let's all take a healing breath together. As we sing about justice, we sing for justice, we sing to justice, and we sing as justice. Here we go. So I do a lot of hard-hitting songs, but this one just felt like it needed to be easy coming out. Just take a breath. And check this out. Justice, 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 oh, let it be so. Justice. Y'all got it? Okay, let's sing it. Justice, 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 oh, let it be so. Justice. That feels good. Let's do it again. Justice, 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 oh, let it be so. Justice. Here's the verse. Justice to cleanse the soul. Justice to make us whole. Let it be so. Justice. Keep singing. Justice must overflow. Justice where it is owed. Let it be so. Justice. Everybody, let me feel you. Justice, 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 oh, let it be so. Justice. Y'all sound so good, do it again. Justice, justice, justice,
justice, oh, let it be so. Justice, justice, justice.
I thank you. Dr. Kim, I felt you. I heard you. I felt you. And the Avengers, I heard y'all singing. Louise, everyone, thank you for the invitation. Congratulations to us all.
Thank you so much, Arnaé Batson. That was wonderful and a perfect lead in to our next honoree. Our next honoree is JusticeLA, and JusticeLA is being introduced by Miss Patrisse Cullors. And indeed, it would take quite some time to cover everything that Ms. Cullors has been doing in terms of pursuing justice. She's a New York Times bestselling author, educator, artist, and abolitionist. I like that. From Los Angeles, California. She's the co-founder of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, which was started in 2013 and has expanded into a global reach, supporting Black-led movements in the US, the UK, Canada, and other places around the world. It was nominated for a 2021 Nobel Peace Prize. Ms. Cullors has led multiple Los Angeles-based organizations, such as Dignity and Power Now, JusticeLA, and Reform LA Jails. Each of these organizations have won progressive ballot measures, fought against a $3.5 billion jail plan, and implemented the first ever civilian oversight commission of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Patrisse is also the faculty director of Arizona's Prescott College, which is a new social and environmental arts practice, MFA, Master in Fine Arts. And she has developed a nesting curriculum that looks at the intersection of art, social justice, and community organizing. That's the first of its kind in the nation. So not stopping there, as if she has more time on her hands, she's also a former staff writer on Freeform's Good Trouble series, as well as an actress on the show. She co-produced the 12-part YouTube original series entitled Resist, that premiered November of 2020 on the platform. And she has now just recently signed an overall production deal with Warner Brothers, where she intends to continue to uplift Black stories, talent, and creators that will transform the world of art and culture, and I would add, justice. Without further ado, I'm happy to introduce Ms. Patrisse Cullors.
Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you, team. I am here at the Abolitionist Pod in downtown LA. I'm so grateful to be here in community with every single one of you, and so grateful that I was asked to support this conversation and honor on behalf of JusticeLA. The coalition, JusticeLA, really does come out of a decade plus of work where organizers and family members impacted by state violence here in Los Angeles County didn't stop. For years, our county board of supervisors told us that we were not going to win. And instead of listening, we dug our heels in. For years, county board of supervisors told us that we were going to be, that we were too radical, that calling forth abolition was not a reasonable policy demand. And yet we did over and over and over again. Every single organization inside of JusticeLA, every single organizer inside of JusticeLA created a moment and an opportunity so that we can see justice happen in real time. While the work is not over, so many of the folks inside of JusticeLA and our allies across Los Angeles and the country are still working towards a county and a city that is truly abolitionist. We are in a place that I could have never, ever imagined. And I want to just offer up my deepest, deepest bow of gratitude to Yvette Ale and James Nelson, who I want to bring up to the stage so they can accept the Communitas Award. This award is so special. There's nothing like being loved up on by your own community, by your own people. And so I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I want to give you the biggest abolitionist hug. I want to tell you to keep going. And most importantly, I want to tell you to take care of each other. We cannot do this work unless we take care of one another, unless we have each other's backs. And so thank you for letting me share this tiny little moment. I love you all so much, and I'm so, so proud of you. Ashe.
Thank you so much, Patrisse, for the grounding and powerful introduction, and for your visionary leadership that's brought us to this moment. I'm gonna first hand over the mic to James Nelson, one of the lead organizers of JusticeLA, and the heart of our coalition. So James, if you could say a few words.
All right. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Patrisse. Yeah, my name is James. I'm a part of DPN. And the way that I even met DPN, I was serving a life sentence for a wrongful conviction. And doing the work in there, I met a guy and he introduced me to DPN. And coming home to DPN and being side by side with folks that realized how much the system needed to be revamped and then outright sometimes just dismantled. It was like the right place for me to be on side by side with these kind of folks that had these abolitionist mindset, being a part of the jail fight that when Patrisse just spoke of, we was told the train had left the station. Why do you keep coming? But we kept going, and we winning because we stand with the community. And that's another thing I love about DPN and JusticeLA, because we are the community. We are with the community 100%. And that's why we win too, because the community support. We listen to the community and we talk to the community, see what do they want, and nobody never said they wanted a jail. They say they wanted an alternative to incarcerations. So that's where we're at now in LA with the work that's going on in LA. So, and I do a formerly incarcerated programs, folks coming home from prison. This Monday, we had a graduation. These folks coming home looking for resources, looking for just to get reacclimated after being in prison for 30-some years. I'm glad to be plugged into folks like DPN and JusticeLA to plug these folks into what's going on in their community and how they could also be a part of this this change that we want to see in LA. Thank you, Yvette.
Thank you, James. And like James and Patrisse named, this work is done and led by people impacted by these systems. So many of our organizers that are at the helm are formerly incarcerated or are the loved ones and families of those that are currently and formerly incarcerated. This is our lived experience. This is why when we were told, as James shared, that the train had left the station, when essentially we had already lost the jail fight. The county had already approved the $3.5 billion jail expansion plan and had already begun to break ground. We had already lost, but we kept going. We believed that we can win. We knew that not winning was not an option. And so our work is a testimony that even when you lose, you can still win, because the truth is on our side, because the community is on our side, which is why historic measures like Measure R, Measure J in the fall, the Alternatives to Incarceration Roadmap, which we co-wrote with the county, a visionary document that presents the county with a different approach, a care-first approach, has been adopted by the county. This is why in this moment, the county is not only not building new jails, they're actually moving to close Men's Central Jail, a place where so many of our loved ones have been tortured or even killed. And this work was not the work of just a handful of organizations or a handful of organizers. It is thousands of volunteers, individual organizers, organizations. It's millions of voters that turned out to support our ballot initiatives like Measure J. It is all of you who commit your time, your energy, your passion for liberation, that share these stories of liberation, that bring your friends and family towards the work of abolition. It's a collective movement, and we are so grateful for this recognition. But more than anything, we're really grateful to be in community with you all, to transform our county, to transform our state, our nation, and the world, to really abolish those systems that cause us harm and provide for our communities, provide them with the resources that they need, not just to survive, but to thrive. And so again, I thank you all so much. And I invite you to continue this fight with us, because we're seeing the transformation. We're seeing the lives that are being saved through this work. And it's going to take all of us to win. So thank you so much.
Good evening, Communitas 2021. Can everyone hear me? Good evening, Communitas 2021. Can everyone hear me?
You're good.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Gina Frazier. The Church in Ocean Park has been working for racial justice for at least 10 years. 3 years ago, white supremacists tried to break in and disrupt the Committee for Racial Justice meeting at Virginia Avenue Park. I would like to personally ask that you would please support the Church in Ocean Park so that our work for racial justice, our work with people with disabilities, LGBTQ folks, people in poverty, and more will continue and expand into the future. We ask that you put the amount you pledge to give in the chat or go to CIOP4justice.org to donate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gina. That video clip really brings back a memory of an intense night we had, didn't it? Yeah, that was really intense. But the community gathered the next month and we overwhelmed those people. So moving along, I am very happy and thrilled to welcome Rodney Crowell via video. Rodney Crowell is a Texas native and is a 2-time Grammy Award winner with 5 #1 hits of his own, 6 Americana Music Association awards, including their Lifetime Achievement for Songwriter Award, and a legacy of songwriting excellence, which has made him an icon among giants. Please welcome Rodney Crowell.
Hello, Mimi and Larry. It's Rodney Crowell here, your friend. And congratulations on being honored tonight. I can't think of two finer people who should be honored. I know for a fact that your hearts are deep and your consciousness is deep and the purity of your soul comes through consistently. And I consider myself lucky to call you my friend. So I'm going to play a song now. It's called Triage. It's from my new album called Triage, and it's about, basically it's about universal love and whether or not I truly understand it and can articulate how I feel about it. When I think of the two of you, I know that you understand it and you're quite capable of articulating it. Congratulations again. I think I know what love is, forgiveness for a start, room for those you love to hate somewhere inside your heart. There are those who say that love is not but gossip, column news, or old roller skates that fasten to the bottom of your shoes. Some say love's a meditation on everything we are, good, bad, and indifferent, self-righteous and bizarre. It's right there in the crosshairs, our every last mistake, the sinners we've made holy and the saints we burned at stake. If love is revelation, love with us receive, it all comes down to knowing less than most of us alone believe. Asking me what love is, here's what I might say. You can find it out there anywhere, on any given day. It's an endless stream of consciousness, obtained in drips and drabs, and a chance to do the right thing when there's no one keeping tabs. If love is what we make it, as you reap, so you sow, the yin and yang, the where and when, the first and last to come and go. If love is all creation, love is manifest. It's love when we're all given life, and love when we're all laid to rest.
Wow, thank you so very much. What a beautiful tribute from an extraordinary musical artist, Rodney Crowell. Thank you again. That was just fantastic. This virtual room is a house of music, and it's a wonderful experience for all of us, I am sure. Let us move on with the next part of our program by moving to our next award. And our award, it says it's an honoree, but it's two people. So I hope they're Mimi Kennedy and Larry Dilg. Here to introduce them is a well-known activist, a former Communitas honoree, Theresa Bonpane. To make an incredibly interesting but long story short, Theresa spent 12 years as a Mary No sister, mostly in Chile. After leaving the order, she helped run a halfway house for hundreds of priests and nuns who were leaving the strictures of religious life. During this period, she met and married Blaise Bonpane. They worked as part of the struggle in East LA with the Black Panthers, farm workers, and later Central Americans in LA. They opened the Office of the Americas and led dozens of delegations to Nicaragua after the Sandinistas took power, while still working in coalition with other groups in LA. Theresa has managed it all for over 40 years, the fears, the threats, and the joys of activist life. Please welcome Theresa Bonpane.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening to everyone here tonight. And to celebrate the Church in Ocean Park's 23rd anniversary of Communitas Awards, I am so honored to be part of any activity Church in Ocean Park is part of, and especially so at this anniversary. And I am more than pleased at the privilege of presenting this award to Mimi Kennedy and Larry Dilg, our dear activist friends and colleagues. To Mimi Kennedy and Larry Dilg, after knowing so much about the lives of Mimi Kennedy and Larry Dilg, it was no surprise to me when Blaise and I became fellow peacemakers with them. In 1983, when OOA was founded, it was shortly thereafter that we met Mimi and Larry. Mimi volunteered at OOA and helped with administration of the new organization. In so doing, we realized how much we had in common. In 1987, Larry and I co-hosted a teenage delegation to war-torn Nicaragua. After the 1979 triumph of Nicaragua over the brutal massacres that were occurring under the previous administration, a new Nicaragua was born. However, soon after, Nicaragua had a counter-revolution, which was again very brutal. That's when we began peace delegations to Nicaragua. Larry's work with the teenagers we brought was indispensable. He was a history teacher at Oakwood School and had much experience in bringing students to experience world events in a peacemaker role. I also have two teenagers, not today they are, but they were then, who went with us and others on these delegations. We immediately saw the sincerity, courage, and compassion of these teenagers in action and their desire to learn and to work for a better world. Many of their parents felt it was a life-changing experience for their children and their families. By then, Mimi and Larry shared peacemaking with all of us and brought many projects on board. Mimi was also becoming a well-known activist who brought intelligence, diplomacy, warmth, and generosity to everything she participated in. Larry's talents for organizing and music led to his starting a group of musicians, the OOA Songsters, who performed songs of peace and justice at demonstrations, rallies, and community celebrations. They did so much in our 36 years together, and they are still in very much demand, more than I can keep up with. I can't imagine what our peace work would do without them. Our work together continued in El Salvador, Nicaragua, and throughout the war-torn Central America, as well as Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Middle East. They also worked with us in the living wage campaign, $15 an hour, in Santa Monica, which Sandie Richards was the core leader of that at the time, at their church as well. They worked with that, and we passed that law in 1996 and thereafter. For their activities and so much more, I am honored to be able to present to them, individually and collectively, this award from the Church in Ocean Park. And the Church in Ocean Park is itself a miracle in action. In addition, we came to know Larry and Mimi as caring, generous friends, always ready to do more for us and the work we all found to be urgently needed. Larry and Mimi I hereby present these awards to you, which you so totally deserve for all of your life's work. With much love and respect for you, Theresa Bonpane, for the church in Ocean Park. And I just want to say one lasting word. Everyone support the church in Ocean Park. Make sure you do your generous best tonight. And now, Mimi and Larry, I'm so grateful to be here with you tonight. Come up. Oh, I
You're
can't hear
muted.
her. Muted.
So I thought I would show it.
You just started now. You were muted.
Oh,
Start
oh, we actually have this award because Louise, thank you very much, brought it over to our house. So I wanted you all to see it. And our names are there together, which is a wonderful thing to have for the family for the rest of, as long as we all last. I wanted to say that I'm so pleased, Theresa, thank you. We love you so much. Well, you'll hear. So we are pleased to be getting this award in Santa Monica, particularly from the church in Ocean Park, because this is where Santa Monica is where Larry and I began our married life and our family after 4 years of living in sin in New York City. So we were legitimate when we came to Santa Monica. Many of you may know who are listening, many of you do not. We were matched by computer in 1966, the first computer dating program ever called Operation Match, and they made us perfect computer matchmates. And to our great credit, we completely turned our backs on perfection. We didn't even want to meet each other, but we only met in New York City many years later because mutual friends pushed us together. But before that time, separately, we'd marched against the Vietnam War, but our lives in activism bloomed. When we got to LA in 1978 and we heard Blaise Bonpane on KPFK, and I heard that his wife Theresa had been a nun, so I asked her to lunch because I thought she was someone with whom I could share all my Irish guilt and Catholic background, and we did. And Blaise and Theresa became our friends and our inspiration and our models. I became a mother in the early 1980s and I felt so guilty. Often I could not go to marches and rallies. I was home taking care of toddlers, babies. It was Theresa who always staunchly defended my choice to be with my children. And she told me how important family had been to her and Blaise and still was. And in those 100 multiple choice computer questions that Larry and I answered in 1966, I remember the question, how important is religion to you? And there were multiple choice, very important, fairly important, important. And we both said very important, because it's the sense of the sacredness of earth, of human life, of all life expressed however inadequately in religious community. That's what fuels our quest for peace and justice. And it's our sense of being Americans that we shared, North Americans, privileged people who live under this Constitution that nominally protects free speech, that also fuels our activism. We've always felt it's our absolute duty to speak up and do what we can for justice for all. We must do justice because that's what our souls demand, even in our marriage and our family life. So we got married in 1978 and we had this idea that we were going to inscribe the inside of our wedding rings with "to heaven together," because we were just going to, just really try to do everything right. But the rings we could afford were too small to be inscribed with anything. So that idea went out the window. And I also remember a time when I was sobbing on the bed, I don't know, breastfeeding some toddler running around. And I called a nun who had offered spiritual counseling. And I just said, I'm lost. I've hit the wall. I don't know what I'm doing. I've lost myself. And she said, well, what would you want if you could imagine what you wanted? And I went, I just want to live in a community of like-minded people who are all working towards the same goal. And she said, oh, Mimi, that's heaven. Meaning you shouldn't even hope for that on earth. Well, yes, we can, because here we are. We are sharing the sacred spirit of earth with like-minded people doing justice. Reverend James Lawson taught us in his nonviolence class how to do this, that every defeat carries us towards victory, and that's in personal and public life too. So I just want to thank you for this award, because Larry and I have made it to heaven together. This award proves it. Thank you.
Thank you for honoring Mimi and me with this award. Communitas is not just community in Latin. The dictionary says it's an unstructured state in which all members of a community are equal, allowing them to share a common experience, usually through a rite of passage. And since we're being honored as a couple, I've been thinking about the peculiar contribution a couple makes to Communitas. By examining my life, I've come to the conclusion that it has a lot to do with love and hope. For the first 5 years of my life, I lived on a plot of land inhabited by 3 generations of my family. I was loved unconditionally. The only larger group I knew was my church, a small Methodist congregation about the size of this one. Once I started public school, I found myself in a much bigger community whose culture was different from mine. I wasn't unconditionally loved at school. I had to earn respect. I established an identity as a good student, singer, and public speaker, but that identity created dissonance. My parents didn't appreciate the person I was at school. My friends couldn't give me the love I got at home. I was 2 different people, an outsider in both groups. My first experience of Communitas was college. Our rite of passage was a rigorous freshman curriculum that forced many students to drop out. After that trial by fire, those who survived felt like equals. It was 1965, and we baby boomers shared a righteous critique of society, demonstrating for civil rights and against the Vietnam War. At graduation, I was elected class speaker, but instead of a speech, I sang Bob Dylan's Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands to acknowledge that learning to love another person was an essential part of an education. I felt fulfilled as a student, activist, and artist, but I still longed for unconditional love. After college, I tried living outside my race and class to see myself as others saw me. I set out alone without family or friends and lost my way, stumbling in and out of doomed relationships and dead-end jobs. At the low point, I met Mimi. It was love at first sight. Within a week, I was telling my sister that I'd met the girl I would marry. The computer that matched us wasn't our only intimation of the future. Mimi knew she was destined to be an actress. I knew I'd be a teacher. And we felt the presence of our 2 children at the altar at our wedding. Sharing our love in public was an act of faith that our hopes would materialize. Raising children grounded us in the present and connected us to a future we will never entirely see. Their unconditional love sustains us always. Oakwood School, where I taught for 35 years, became my communitas. I taught both my children, shaped the curriculum, and organized for peace. Teaching called forth all my love and imagination. Mimi had my back through the weekends of grading, but it wasn't easy. We never had enough time for just us. Blaise and Theresa Bonpane were our lifeline. Their spiritual journey showed us how to be a couple within Communitas. And we sang together, sharing our deepest beliefs in harmony. 5 years ago, I retired in order to share more of my life with Mimi. I finally had time for music, which led me to Church in Ocean Park. My love for Mimi is the wellspring of my happiness. A communitas needs love and lovers. What we create as couples manifests in our work for peace, equality, and justice. In honoring couples, the Church in Ocean Park recognizes that change and enlightenment start in the heart. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I am so moved. That's so heartfelt. Thank you so much, Mimi and Larry. That was so beautiful. I just feel like we all just need to sit with that for a while and just say, oh, thank you so much. I mean, so moved. That's so much inside. Thank you. And thank you, Theresa. I can't believe that you're actually here and sharing with us this way. I'm Unbelievable. Thank you so much. We have a short video now of another Tuesday at 2. And this one, you can see that there is diversity in what Jean is facilitating on Tuesdays. And this one, you might recognize some of the folks.
God gave Noah the rainbow sign, no more water but fire next time. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Everybody! Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. I can hear you. Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Thank you so much. I want to move on to the next part of our program. And again, just recognize, just as Reverend Janet said, what a powerful group of honorees we have. And it's just amazing the contributions that you've made, and moves us to tears and joy and continuing to support our work towards justice. We do have a number of elected officials, I believe, here with us this evening, and they're going to take just a few minutes, maybe 1 minute each. And I know when I say that to people who are elected, they sometimes miss the 1 minute mark. But we have Richard Bloom, Assemblyman Richard Bloom, representing the 50th Assembly District. We also have, I believe, Liliana Pond, representing Senator Ben Allen, who represents the 26th Senatorial District. And we also have a video from Congressman Ted Lieu. Let me start with our brother, Richard Bloom.
Thank you, Karen. Hi, everybody. Oh my God, I only have 55 seconds left now. I come bearing certificates for everyone. We've got 3 great honorees tonight, but the real honoree every year is the Church in Ocean Park. You are just a wonderful progressive organization that holds people together, that helps hold the community together. And Jean Gasca, Mimi Kennedy, and Larry Dilg, and JusticeLA, great honorees this evening, well deserving for all the reasons that you're hearing from them and from those who are presenting their awards tonight. So congratulations to everyone, and I hope I made it under the 1 minute mark. It's good to see you all.
Thank you, Richard Bloom, appreciate it. And you were extraordinarily short. So bless you, my brother. Liliana Pond, I believe, is here as well, representing Senator Ben Allen.
Unfortunately, she, it seems, was not able to make it. I don't see her in the participants.
Okay, then can we just move on to view the video from Congressman Ted Lieu?
Hello, I'm Congressman Ted Lieu. I'm so honored to join the Church in Ocean Park in celebrating the winners of the 23rd Annual Communitas Awards. First, I'd like to express my appreciation to the Church and Reverend Janet McKeithen for your important spiritual work in the community and your advocacy for social justice. The Church is a symbol of the city's conscience when it comes to civil and human rights. The Communitas Awards honor the members of the Church and the larger community who embody and elevate the spirit of community. It's important to recognize these volunteers as they reflect their compassion, caring, patience, and love for the community. I'd like to recognize this year's winners: Mimi Kennedy and Larry Dilg, Jean Gasca, and the organization JusticeLA for their creativity and compassion in advocating for peace and justice, healing, and cross-cultural connection in the community and in a broader world. Congratulations to all the awardees of the Communitas Awards.
Thank you. It's great to see Congressman Lieu. I'm always ready and expecting him to say, thank you very much for that question, which is usually how he responds when he's interviewed on various news outlets. I'm not sure if anyone from the city of Santa Monica was able to join us. Give me a heads up. Reverend J. Mac? Nope. Okay. We're going to move on then. I believe, Louise, you're going to take it from here.
Joseph is going to speak, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, can you all hear me? Okay,
Yes.
I'm thoroughly enjoying this program this evening. It is a blessing to be with you all. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Hepburn, and I'm one of the co-chairs, along with Joanne Berlin, of the administrative board of the Church in Ocean Park. We're taking this opportunity now to thank all of you who have made donations so far this evening. Your donations help us to reach out and to reach in and to help with the various programs that you saw and heard of tonight. And many, of course, that you did not see as well. Many that you did not see, for example, we work with children with disabilities. We have the Queer Prom program. We have the encouragement group, which is for persons who have experienced loss. And by loss, we not only mean death, but loss of a house, loss of a relationship. There are many more severe losses along with death. So your donations help us with all these programs, and what a privilege it is to say thanks to you all. So while the amazing Louise Dobbs, our music director and musician, sings at this time, you have one more chance this evening to give a donation for our ongoing work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Reverend Joseph. This song is from Leah Morris. She was born in Baltimore, and you can sing along with me. As for me in my house, only serving love. As for me in my house, only serving love. As for me in my house, only serving love, love for all right now. As for me in my house, only serving peace. As for me in my house, only serving peace. As for me in my house, only serving peace. Peace for all right now. As for me in my house, only serving truth. As for me in my house, only serving truth. As for me in my house, only serving truth, truth for all right now. You can join me with this. As for me in my house, I'm only serving love. As for me in my house, only serving love. As for me in my house, only serving love. As for me in my house, only serving love, love for all right now. Peace for all right now. Truth for all right now.
Thank you so much, Louise. We're coming to the close of the honoring portion of this evening's ceremony, and Reverend Janet will explain a bit about what will happen in the last half an hour. So I just want to quickly bring it all to a close so we can continue to convene together and express on behalf of the Church in Ocean Park, the organizing committee, Natalia and the tech folks that are in the background. Thank you, my sister. They helped to make this all happen. And again, one more plug to support the Church in Ocean Park, an institution that's devoted to justice. And I hope that all of you have taken something of wonder away from this evening, that you found some joy, that your hope has continued to be raised up. If you feel like being an activist is something like being a renegade, I hope you will become comfortable with that cloak of valor, because that's what it's all about. And one would hope that as we get better and as progress is made, being an activist will be normal. Functioning as an ally with others and communities that have been oppressed and exploited will be commonplace and regular practice. But tonight we've had the chance to meet and honor some folks that have made it part of their daily diet. It's almost like part of their nutritional plan. It's strongly recommended. So thank you again. I appreciate being given the opportunity to be an MC for this program. I hope I've done it justice. And I'm glad that I was asked to do it. Let me turn it over to Reverend J. Mack. Oh, I'm sorry, going to Kim.
Yes, because we'll have just a little bit more singing and then we will move on to Reverend Janet. This is such an incredible time, such an incredible evening. So please, even while muted, let your voices ring out. We're going to keep on walking forward, never turning back, never turning back. We're going to keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Yes, many of you, I'm sure, recognize this song composed by the wonderful Pat Humphries of Emma's Revolution. So reach out your arms. We're gonna reach out to each other. Reach out to each other. Reach out to each other. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna keep on seeking justice. Keep on seeking justice. Keep on seeking justice. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna keep on making music. Keep on making music. Keep on making music. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Oh, we're never turning back. Never turning back. Oh, we're never turning back. Never turning back. Ashe, ashe.
Hey, thank you so much, Dr. Kim. Thank you to everyone who is here supporting Communitas 2021. Like many people and organizations, we also lost thousands of dollars every month for the past year. And we're so grateful for your support. I'd like to thank the Communitas Committee, Anita Porter, Gina Frazier, Patricia Hoffman, Maureen Dean, Louise Dobbs, Theresa Bonpane, Robert Inetsogu, Fred Whitlock, Bob Gord, Trudy Goodwin Gord. We're extremely grateful for our program creator and tonight's tech support. You all know how important tech people are this year, right? Natalia Zernetskaya, yes. And our friend who offered consulting services to us, some of you may recognize the name Emma Chappell. Yes. We love music here at CIOP and we so appreciate the musicians, Louise Dobbs, Dr. Kim Harris, Arnaé Batson, and Rodney Crowell. Amazing, amazing. And the presenters, Patrisse Cullors, Theresa Bonpane, Yonathan and Ayanna Parker, and especially our honorees, JusticeLA, Jean Gasca, Mimi Kennedy, and Larry Dilg. We could not do this without our sponsors, and we could not move forward without our sponsors. And I just want to flash them up on the screen for a minute. Look at all these sponsors. They're in our program booklet as well. So if you didn't receive a program booklet, let me know and we will send that to you, because all of these are in here as well as the bios from these amazing people that you've heard tonight, the bios of the musicians and the bios of the honorees. So you really need to have one of these program booklets if you didn't get one. So thank you so, so much. Most of all, I'd like to thank each one of you for making change possible. Melina Abdullah brought us the message for one of our Sunday services recently. And this is one of the things that she mentioned. Hear now our benediction from Melina Abdullah of Black Lives Matter. Play the video.
Government. It's about power, right? And when you talk about religion, I think it's also important that we talk about religion not in terms of just an institution, but in terms of spirit, right? So how can we be pushing to empower those who've been oppressed without using spirit? So the idea that religion and politics should remain separate is absolutely a false assertion, and one that's been used by, I think, the religious right, to disempower those of us who have been kind of under their heel.
Before we say our traditional closing together, I want to remind you that you now have the opportunity to join an honoree in a breakout room. We're going to grab hands around the world, put your arms up, and we're going to say together, carry on. We're going to mute yourself right away. And we're going to say 1, 2, 3. Carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on.
All right. Now you're welcome